My lying wife left me for another man, and after he got her pregnant, he left her. 3 years later, she showed up at my door. So my wife and I were married for 6 years and together for 9 when she left me. We were high school sweethearts, and I thought we had an amazing relationship. We were one of those couples that everyone was jealous of. I was head over heels for her, and I thought she was for me too. We had always talked about having a family, and for the first 3 years of our marriage, we were actively trying. However, we found out that I was infertile, and we were devastated. It sent my wife into a depression, and for a while, I thought our marriage was going to fail. It was a really rough time for us. However, we eventually came to the decision that we would try to save up for in vitro fertilization, and that if that didn't work, we would look into other options. So we spent the next 2 years saving up every penny we could. It was hard, but we both really wanted children. I thought we were doing really well, and I thought that our marriage was stronger than ever. We finally had enough money to undergo the procedure, and we were just about to make an appointment when my wife told me that she was having second thoughts. She said that she was worried that she would not be able to love a non-biological child as much as a biological one. I told her that I understood her concerns, but that I thought we should try anyway. She said she needed time to think about it. A few weeks later, she told me that she had made up her mind, and that she did not want to go through with IVF. I was very disappointed, but I told her that I loved her and that I would support her in whatever she wanted to do. I told her that we could look into other options. However, she said that she had actually made up her mind about something else. She said that she had been seeing someone else for a few months and that she was in love with him. She said that she was moving in with him. I was completely blindsided. There had been no signs of this at all. I was completely devastated. I begged her to reconsider, but she said that her mind was made up. She left, and that was the last time I ever saw her. I was a complete wreck for a long time. I had no idea that anything was wrong in our marriage, and I had no idea that she was seeing someone else. I was in a very dark place for a long time, and I thought about ending things. However, I eventually sought therapy, and with the help of a therapist, I was able to work through my feelings and get to a better place. I was able to move on, and I eventually started dating again. However, I still thought about my ex-wife from time to time, and I always wondered what had happened to her. I had no way of contacting her, as she had changed her phone number and all of her social media accounts. So I was completely shocked when, 3 years after she left me, she showed up at my door. At first, I thought she was there to apologize for what she had done to me, but then I saw that she was holding a baby. She said that she needed to talk to me. She had a baby from him and he dumped her after she gave birth. She is begging me to take her back and I don't know what to do. My cheapskate wife brought her own meal to a restaurant on our kid's birthday and threw a temper tantrum about it when we got home. Despite me being a lawyer and my wife being a nurse, she has recently started wanting to save money in order to loan her parents $75,000. The loan is one for a very expensive car and my wife and I have argued a lot about it, but eventually I gave in telling her that she can loan the money that comes from her salary. I didn't expect her to commit to it, but she has, and it's starting to annoy everyone. She is skimping out on pennies. For example, we were giving our kids $10 each week for allowance, but my wife decided that $10 was too much and lowered it to $3. I have told her that I think the allowance amount is too low, but she disagrees and yelled at me telling me that she will save money wherever she can. It's funny she says that because she had no problem buying herself a $3,000 handbag just a few weeks ago. The main issue at hand is that she will cook meals at home to bring to restaurants to be microwaved. This request is always turned down. However, my wife can sometimes be a bit of a Karen, and the staff refusing to microwave her meal always results in her making a fuss, and in turn she will be asked to leave, ruining the whole day out. I have told her that she needs to stop and that when we go out, I am fine with her ordering whatever she wants. I will pay for the entire meal without complaints, but for some reason she is not okay with this. So, my son turned 12 a few days ago and he wanted to eat out at his favorite steakhouse. I asked my wife not to bring any of her meals to the restaurant and I told her that I will pay. She agreed at the time and told me she would not bring a meal to the restaurant, and I believed her. We arrived at the restaurant and sat down at the table. My wife got up to use the bathroom and we ordered our drinks. So far, my wife had not asked the waiter to heat up a meal, and I genuinely believed she wouldn't. Well, when the drinks arrived, we gave the waiter what we wanted to eat and my wife ordered a small salad. The waiter came back over a few minutes later with a meal wrapped in cling film and told my wife, "Ma'am, we can't warm this up for you. It's against our policy, sorry about that." My wife and the waiter got into an argument where my wife called the manager, and the manager proceeded to tell her that if she keeps being so hostile to the staff they will have to ask her to leave. I managed to calm her down and my wife proceeded to spend the rest of the dinner staying silent, not speaking, and not touching the salad she ordered. When the evening was over and we got home, my wife and I began to argue about the evening. I told her that she was in the wrong for bringing a meal when I asked her not to. She started to argue back that eating out is a waste. I then said, "Well, you embarrassed everyone, including our kids." She asked me to leave the bedroom if she is such an embarrassment, and when I was leaving the bedroom, she threw a pillow at me and told me to hurry the F up. I am now staying in the guest bedroom. My golden child sister broke my new phone that I bought for myself because I didn't buy her one too, so I sold her MacBook and kept the money. So my sister and my parents ended up finding out what happened and a crap storm ensued. A crap storm so large that I ended up getting disowned and having to be taken in by my best friend's family, where I am residing now. It took my sister over a month to notice that her MacBook was gone. She wanted to watch Netflix on it one day, and threw a fit when she was not able to find it. I was laughing to myself the whole time, watching my parents and her run around the house, flipping absolutely everything up and down in order to try to find it was hilarious. My sister ended up asking me why I was laughing, and I told her seeing her flip out about her MacBook was funny, and she got even more mad. She spent a total of 3 hours destroying the whole house to find it, and she had a mental breakdown by the end. My parents ended up accusing me of stealing the MacBook. I mean, they were right in a sense, but I was not going to admit it. Unfortunately, they ended up finding out. That night while I slept, my mother took my phone and looked through it. I had made the mistake of leaving eBay as well as my account on my phone, and there they were able to see that I had listed the MacBook a month ago. I was awoken by my mother and sister screaming at me in the middle of night. Being dazed and still sleepy, I told them, yeah, so what, now let me go back to sleep. My sister exploded, and got on top of me and started kicking me. This prompted me to throw her off and get up out of bed as the adrenaline took over. Both of them continued screaming at me, and it left me with no choice but to yell over them. I told them that what I did was not different to what she had done. If anything, it was not the same, as I did not sell her MacBook out of jealousy. My sister still denied ever breaking my phone, and my mother took her side, asking me if I was still on about that. I told her yes, and then told her that I hate living in this madhouse with them. My father was working a night shift on this specific day, so he was nowhere to be found in the house. The night culminated in my mother demanding I buy my sister a new MacBook or else they would press charges, and I told her to go ahead. Pressing charges for cases like these never go anywhere. There is no way to prove that my sister did not give me permission to sell the laptop, as their word is not enough evidence alone. My mother, realizing I was right, told me that either I pay the money back or I can get out. So that's what I did. The very next day, I packed my things and left. My best friend knows about the situation at home and what I did, and he finds it hilarious. His parents are also great and took me in no problem. I've been living here a week now and I'm helping with chores as well as a small fraction of rent, and I've not heard from my parents or sister since the day I left.